Hello, and thank you for joining me for a dose of virtual vitamin Z. My name is Sandy, and I'm an education specialist for the Detroit Zoological Society, where we celebrate and save wildlife every day. Today, in our episode of Monarch Mysteries, we're going to talk a little bit about head starting. But first, let's find out what a monarch butterfly is in case you can't remember. So I have a monarch butterfly right next to me, and you can pick out a monarch butterfly because they have these orange wings with black outlines on them, and they have white kind of lacy edges on them. Black and white lacy edges. Now, a monarch butterfly, they have a life cycle. And this life cycle, they start out as an egg and become caterpillars and then become a chrysalis, and then an adult emerges. Something that's kind of interesting is that monarch butterflies, it's a pretty low number that actually make it from egg to adult. Scientists don't totally agree on the number, but it's definitely under 50%. So something that you and I could do, if we'd like, is to work on head starting monarch caterpillars. So what that means is that we take them into our care and we provide them care in our own homes to get them from an egg into a caterpillar, then a chrysalis, and then an adult butterfly will emerge, and then we release them into the wild. Now, if you want to do this, there's a couple things you need to know first. So all animals have basic needs that need to be met. And one of the things that that's interesting and important to know about monarch butterflies and caterpillars is they have a host plant. And that host plant is called milkweed. And these caterpillars, when they're little, and actually the whole time they're caterpillars, they can only eat milkweed. So if you decide that you want to raise caterpillars in your home, you need to have an ample supply of milkweed. And you need to be it's about 18 inches of milkweed that needs to be provided for a caterpillar to get from an egg to a chrysalis. And that milkweed needs to be fresh. So there's a couple of ways that you can keep milkweed fresh. These are those floral tubes. And so if you have a caterpillar in your home that you are providing care for, and you have milkweed in a floral tube, you can put water in there and the caterpillars can eat the milkweed without a problem. When we think about basic needs, the next thing we often think about is water. Now, caterpillars actually don't drink water like you and I do. They get their water from the milkweed. So they don't need any extra water, and actually water can sometimes cause a problem for caterpillars. They can actually drown if they're not super careful. So by providing milkweed that's in water, it's really important. You also have to be able to switch out leaves as they've eaten. And that actually also makes me think of the next thing is that when caterpillars eat, they also poop a lot. Now, caterpillar poop is called frass. And if you're going to be head starting caterpillars in your home, you need to know that this little frass, this little green stuff right here, that has to be cleaned out every day. So it's quite a thing that you need to do. So what you can do is you can line your habitats with paper towel that will make it a little easier to kind of clean it up. But you're providing a safe environment for your caterpillars to get big and strong and then be able to become chrysalises. Something that happens with caterpillars is they can get predated on or eaten by birds, or sometimes wasps will sting them. So you're providing them a safe environment to get big and strong. So here you can see, here are some caterpillars that I had started in my home a couple of years ago. And you can see here this big piece of this big piece of milkweed is in here, and it's on a piece of paper towel. Now these guys, they ate through this really fast, and I actually will refresh the milkweed that's in my habitats multiple times a day to make sure that they have fresh milkweed. So I didn't put water on this guy, but if I'm going to be gone for the whole day, I will stick them in a floral tube, and it's a good way to make sure that they have fresh milkweed. Now, if you want to start caterpillars in your home, things to think about for like a shelter. You want to make sure that the sides are kind of airy and that they're available, or that it doesn't get kind of like stuffy in there. So you can see here, this is a habitat that's designed specifically for caterpillars. And there's caterpillars down here eating milkweed. There's a branch for them to to make their chrysalises on. And actually the caterpillars will crawl up the mesh and make their chrysalises right at the top. Something else to think about is that if you are going to head start caterpillars in your home, you need to look for monarch caterpillars and eggs that are in your own area. So I look outside, I have a milkweed patch that's outside my house. And I keep an eye on it. And if there's any eggs or any caterpillars that pop up, I do bring them inside so that they have a better chance of making it to adulthood. And then actually, let me go back really quick. So caterpillars are in the caterpillar stage for about 14 days. And then they go into their chrysalis for, again, about 14 days. And then after they're in their chrysalis for about 14 days, their chrysalis is turned clear, and you can start to see some of that really cool yellow and black and white in the chrysalis. And the butterfly will eclose or emerge from its chrysalis and hang for a couple of hours and get its wings to dry out and be beautiful and ready to go. And then your butterfly is ready to be released. So you can slip your finger in there and take them outside, and they will fly away. This is a butterfly I released sometime last year. This butterfly is a butterfly that I released last year, a couple years ago as well. And you can see this one looks a little different. It's got this white tag on it. Now, if you decide that you want to Head Start monarch caterpillars in your home, you can participate in a citizen science program through Monarch Watch, where they provide these tags, and they actually, there's that little red code right there. You actually write that down and you report this certain information to Monarch Watch. And these are the caterpillars that will migrate, these are the butterflies that will migrate from Michigan all the way down to Mexico. And there's a bunch of volunteers who go down to Mexico and take binoculars and look at all of the butterflies, and they write down the codes to see where these butterflies are coming from. So it really gives some really great information. So if you want to Head Start caterpillars, things you need to think about that you'll need. You're going to need a netted enclosure. You're going to need ample milkweed, a lot more than you think you're going to need, because some of the milkweed's not going to last. And so you need at least 18 inches per caterpillar, but you might want to have extra. You want to make sure that the milkweed hasn't been treated with pesticides. Floral tubes to keep that milkweed fresh, and paper towel or towels that you can keep in the bottom of the habitat so you can change it out easy and make sure it's cleaned. And if towards the end of the season, if you want to participate in Monarch Watch and get some tags, you can. I actually have the data sheet here that you can see this is last year's data sheet. They'll release a new one this year. But you type right in the tag code, the month, the date, the year, if it's a male or a female. And then if it was a reared one or one that you had started in your home, or if it was a wild caught, the city and the information. And then you take this information and report it to Monarch Watch, and it puts it into a big database, and you can kind of track to see where your butterflies end up. Thanks so much for joining me for this dose of virtual vitamin Z. If you'd like to learn more from our virtual vitamin Z program, go to the Detroit Zoo's website under Education Virtual Learning. Thanks so much and have a great day.